welcome to our video. I'm Jack.
I'm Liam.
I'm Jack.
I'm Sergio. Okay, our video is about our placement up at Oakwood Youth at Test Park. We was coaching an under-12s team. They were given to us in a not a poor state, so should I say, but they were given to us, not being very attentive and not having the best attention span.
We were told by the coach beforehand that they were quite a rough bunch of kids, and we didn't know what to expect really. But when we got in there, we found out that they weren't that bad after all.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my experience. To be honest, the kids were eager to learn. Maybe some communication issues, but all in all, I think the kids were very excited at us being there. Obviously, coaches come down from Solent, more or less every year, so it was kind of good to get an insight into how their clubs run and Oakwood Youth. So, yeah.
It was also a bit of a shock to find the coach was there already.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
right, they had their own level 2 coach, so they'd been there the whole season. He had his own. They had a goalkeeping coach as well, so they were really well set up for an under-12s team.
I suppose at times we sort of felt like we were intruding.
Because
it felt like
the first week.
Yeah, in the first week especially, we thought that we had more. There was more for them to do than there was for us to do. I don't know about you guys, but I just thought I was just out of place.
Sure, yeah, no, I totally agree. To be honest, I was kind of more happy to help. If I had to go get a ball, I'd kind of do that. If I had to carry over the bibs, I'd do that.
Yeah.
In the second week, me, Jack and Liam did a warm up. Did a warm up for the kids, which was pretty fun. It wasn't ball related. It was stuck in the mud, which is
it's just to get that ball.
Definitely enjoyed it. So that was a good experience, getting the kids running and having fun. We even got the coaches involved. That was good fun, really. So, yeah.
I did think that in our first week though, children seemed a little bit shy.
Yeah.
Like they were apprehensive towards us, I think. And I think their focus was a bit off because we were there.
Sure,
And Brozovic et al. 2008 wrote that the best way to get children to open up is to be a good role model.
Yeah.
So for me at least, I tried my best to assert myself as a role model for them.
Yeah. If they're a role model, they're probably going to listen better.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think I saw that as well, but I thought their group was a bit half and half. There were some runs that were really quiet, but then you had, I think, Jake,
Yeah.
was really loud. He
Ollie
was
as
out there,
well.
and I think some of them were in their shell because of them.
Yeah.
So I thought, getting the cohesion together, which is defined by Karen as a dynamic process that is reflected in the tendency of a group to stick together and remain united when pursuing their own objectives.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, that kind of plays into communication, how it's social interaction. In order for kind of social interaction to take place, play and communication within the kids and the coaches, is pretty what you need to do, really. I've got a quote here from the Communication Trust saying, "Communication is fundamental to children's development. Children need to be able to understand and be understood," which was a big thing because the kids there that we were coaching, needed to be understood. They might have come from dodgy backgrounds. They might struggle how to express themselves and then muck about a little bit. So you got to understand where they're kind of coming from. So communication is the foundation of relationships and is essential for learning, play, and social interaction. So I mean, this was a key theme. How they interacted with each other socially, and how they interacted with the coaches in different drills.
I think a sign of their background was shown in the first week when they were leaving.
Yeah.
I think the coach said to one of them, I can't remember who, but I've got to ring your mum if your dad doesn't show up.
Yeah.
That sort of gave us an idea of what
They definitely they weren't rough kids. We were expecting them to be starting fights and that sort of thing, but we think that they were just more underprivileged than rough.
Yeah.
Like the coach said, it's that they all come from a rough estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Around the same place.
I think the coach worded it as a way that we took it as they were going to be less likely to want to get involved.
Yeah.
But they seemed quite eager to have us there.
And they're all very good footballers.
Yeah, quite surprised how good they were.
Obviously, to back up Liam's claim, they throughout the process of actually being at the placement, they actually told me that they were all at the same school. So you've kind of got kids that are in and around the same environment, So if one of them is struggling, pretty much the other one is as well. They've kind of grown up together, and they're kind of in this kind of same so I don't know, it's kind of the same environment and the kind of same problems that they're all facing. So,
Bartley et al. 2014 found that the presence of a friend increased the intensity of their physical activities. So once that they're there as a group, it just made them feel like they were a team as opposed to a bunch of kids just put together.
I should have backed that up with Mullen and Copper. They said that a real group, so one that's one that naturally bonds is more likely to have success and cohesion because they are wanting to be together instead of a group that's been forced together.
So what did you guys think of the behaviour of the kids?
The coach said they're going to be rough.
Yeah.
They're not going to be listening, a bit excited, and they were the first session. Yeah, they weren't really listening to us. I mean, a bit excited probably.
Yeah.
But like I said, they were from a rough estate, and some of them were swearing, messing around.
Yeah.
They weren't really staying on task. But after a while, I mean, they're good kids, so they managed to stay on task some of the time.
It was sort of like a stereotyping sort of thing. The kids that were loud were the ones who wouldn't usually stay on task.
Yeah,
the ones that were shy wanted to just do what they were told.
Yeah.
So it was that was another thing, getting them to buck up a bit more, because you didn't want them to lose out on enjoying their football training time while the ones that messed around. But they all seemed like a very good team. They did bond very well together.
Yeah. I mean, Nicholson et al. 2008 wrote that the 7 social capital index components most closely associated with community sport organisations were measures of community organisational life and volunteering. And then that leads into what Putnam said, which is that bonding social capital will bring people together who are like one another. And I just think that those kids were a lot of them were similar, but the ones that weren't similar, maybe they didn't quite. Definitely. Like they put themselves out there a lot more, and they were the ones that were more difficult to coach.
Just they were the better footballers, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What does that say about that?
Is that or you could argue, were they the better ones, or was it because the others were too shy to show their ability, so they didn't want to come out? I've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah.
So people don't want to come out their shell, so they don't perform very well when you've got people that are overconfident. Just make it look like they're better than what they actually are. But I'm not saying they're bad, but that's what I'm saying.
And that's how kind of Pro as coaches kind of develop the kids that we're coaching. I mean, the kids there were very, some were very maybe more cockier than the others, and there was others that were a lot more in their shell and a little quiet. Dylan was very in his shell, and they're kind of.
I wouldn't say Dylan was in the show as much as, for example, Alex. Alex, orange brown hair. He was really in the show. I think Dylan, the way that Dylan came up to us and approached us and always was asking questions to us.
I think the JT man, he's in his shell in that group.
Yeah, in the group, there was kind of
he was more open to us.
I mean, there was obviously there was kind of leaders, people that were better than each other, better than the others at football. But you kind of wanted to kind of bring out a side in these people, the kids that were a lot more quiet. And I got a quote from Virginia Tech College here that says, "Communicating positively with young children helps them develop confidence, feelings of self-worth, and good relationship with others." That's how I kind of approached it and went into trying to communicate with these kids and tell them that they're good, tell them that they are good footballers, because they really are. There were some kids there that really didn't speak up. They were really, really talented. I mean, in later on in the training session, we did like match scenarios, and these kids kind of came out their shells a bit more. Maybe in the drills they're a bit more quiet, a bit more nervous, didn't really want to take on the task that the coach had set for them. So I mean, communicating with these kids and having a conversation with them can go so far into making them more confident. It affects their relationship with other people in the group. So,
And on another note as well, I remember one during one of those matches, someone passed the ball to someone else. It went out of play, and one of them, unfortunately, told that player on his team that he wasn't that good, using worse language than that. Yeah. And that was good to see that everyone, though, not just even their teammates sort of went, there's no need for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just like us all going, come on,
Yeah.
There's no.
Or like the other coach was saying, you shouldn't do that. They all stuck together as a team.
And he did apologise.
And he did apologise, because he saw that it was wrong.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
You get a rush of blood when you don't get the ball, and
Definitely.
and then at the end you think, oh, actually, it was over the top.
I mean, that's football, really, isn't it?
I mean, in terms of us, you know, our kind of way we kind of went into it was kind of that kind of way that we kind of went in there and we kind of communicated, and I don't know, we made it kind of. I like to think we actually made the environment was a lot more healthier than actually when we came forward. We made it a lot more fun. We did really get involved with the kids. I mean, we really spoke to them. You know, we tried to be mates, even trying to treat us like each other, sort of thing.
But then at the same time, I thought that was a bit of an issue sometimes because often the other coaches were trying to run a drill, and we'd be talking to the kids. Well, they'd be talking to us, and you don't want to ignore them. You want to talk back.
Yeah.
But then they weren't listening to the other coaches.
Yeah.
And I feel like at times our presence was a bit it impeded the other coaches on occasion.
I mean, in terms of past experience, this was kind of the first placement that I've really done in terms of actually coaching children of this age. So I mean, I went in there, you know, did some things that I probably would work on. You know, obviously communication's a massive thing. You know, I'd probably speak to them a lot more different than actually how I went in there. I mean, I've got a quote here saying that communication is not just the words you use, but it's also the way you're speaking, your body language. And I think that's so important in coaching. I mean, not even doing a drill, sitting there wanting to listen, you know, yourself, listen to the roles, listen to the drill the coach has set up, would just make the kids want to learn more, want to listen as well. I mean, they'll just imitate you, and they'll just sit there and they'll actually listen to, you know, the coach and the way you set up a drill. So I mean, I think that's massively important.
Absolutely.
And I think we did well because I know the first week we decided to say, we'll just get an idea of what their ability was like.
We'll just have a look at what they do.
Because we wanted to get an idea and see what they actually do, because I didn't want to go in thinking, well, if we give them drills and they don't actually do drills,
100%.
I don't want them to they're just not going to enjoy it. They're going to we don't want them.
Yeah, we wanted to have kind of an insight into how they are. We obviously didn't know their ability level this time, so we wanted to kind of go in and have a look and see.
So I think that was well. Like we say, the drills were doing, it wasn't the most hard packed drills, but they were decent possession games, shooting. It's just they were smiling the whole time.
Yeah,
they enjoyed it a lot.
They definitely enjoyed it.
There was no real anyone going, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It was everyone was let's do this.
Yeah. And then last week we actually had the opportunity to ask them at the start, would you rather do drills or would you rather play a game?
Mm-hmm.
And the overwhelming majority said they want to play a game.
Yeah.
And then you know, when we played the game at the end, they seemed to really enjoy. They just like playing football.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really good environment for them to have, because they can just go to a place, go to a team where they can play football with their friends and play for a team and play against other teams and just enjoy it. And I just think that's really important for kids. Like, they just need to enjoy. Exactly. Yeah. Like, there's no point in playing football if you're not going to enjoy it. You know, sports for enjoyment.
Yeah, sure.
Point out that point as well. Like, the coach did turn up as well, and he said they didn't have a game for 7 weeks. He said the last weekend in April was their next game.
Because it's Easter break.
I think he said he didn't have anything planned. He said he was going to just play a couple of games or matches. So we did plan, but we weren't going to. We didn't realise they didn't have a game.
Yeah.
So we thought you can learn drills. What's the best way, but not play it?
Yeah,
just play
absolutely. I mean, drills have their place in football training, of course, but I think we would all think that the best way to get better at football is to play the actual game.
You can make a drill as realistic as you can, but you can't put it into a game situation.
Exactly.
Like the crossing and shooting game. I know Terry was the defender, but he wasn't going in full force like a defender would in a game to win the ball.
It wasn't realistic.
It was good to get them how they want to play, but it wasn't. And then we got into the game, and Dylan, right back, picked the ball up on the right wing, crossed the ball in, and it was finished into the goal. And that's just what they'd done in the drill. So it did show that in the match situation it will work.
Yeah, and again that showed the drills definitely have their place.
Yeah.
But I just think that playing a game is just more enjoyable, especially for kids that age.
At that age,
they don't want to be standing there just like doing the same thing over and over again. They just want to play football.
Yeah.
Given the game experience as well, I mean, you can't play, like you can read about football all you want, but if you read about it and don't play it, then you're never going to be good. But you're not going to be good at it. So,
Absolutely.
given the experience of playing games, and then you get better and better.
Yeah. So, all in all, guys, did you enjoy your placement? Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It's a quality.
I loved it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So kids.
I'd go back.
Yeah.
We're going to end it, yeah.
100%. Yeah, it was a really good experience to be fair. The kids. Oh,
I think I'd be fine.
Nice, because it's there we go.
just crack that. Not way. Yeah, it was a really fun experience. I guess I really enjoyed it. I met some kids there that are just totally down to earth.
Absolutely.
Really technically sound at football. I mean, I'm not just bigging them up or anything, but I was really impressed, and I saw some real talent there. To be fair, and they've got a good thing going on. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I like their idea of that. Although they're not an elite academy, they've got the setup.
Yeah, sure.
They've got all these teams at different ages.
Absolutely.
Every team's got a goalkeeper coach. So I did have when I did look at it, I think his name was Cox, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, yeah, it was good because he got his own training, which not many league teams like that get for a goalkeeper, and then that's why there's not many goalkeepers coming through. But getting that goalkeeper, he was a very good goalkeeping coach as well.
Absolutely.
And then it wasn't just that he would do his drills, outfield players do their drills. They bonded them together so that he would get time with them as well. So the bonding was still there.
He wasn't just a goalkeeper coach; he was a coach for the whole
And
team.
I liked how we bonded with the goalkeeping coach as well, basing drills around with what he had planned,
Absolutely.
along with what Terry had planned. So it was a good. It never got stuck with like what should we do. It went from warm up into drill, into another drill with the goalkeeping, and then match.
I think that at the end of the day, although in the first week we felt like we were sort of intruding a bit, I think that by the end of it, we definitely felt like we had a place there.
Yeah, and I think they appreciated us coming and giving up our time, because I think even though like they had two coaches plus Pat, who is their manager, and
Great
but he didn't really get involved. He just takes
Oversaw.
oversaw. He was their manager, and his son was his connection. So
And actually, speaking of Pat, like he seemed like he was the foundation for the whole of that under 12 team.
He made that team.
Yeah, because he grew up on the estate where most of those kids are from. So he's got that social link to them.
Yeah.
He's got that sort of impetus to want to help these kids because he was in the same position as them.
he also spoke to them about introducing us. He didn't leave it to Terry. He done it.
Absolutely.
He did everything that was you'd expect the person most involved with them to do. He did very well.
Thoroughly impressed. Yeah.
And I also found that the way that the coaches, they always tried to introduce us. They always tried to make sure that we were involved in some way.
Oh yeah.
Like in the first week when we hadn't done much for the entire time, and they came to playing the match, they just asked us if we wanted to join in. And I think we were more than happy to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just it was great.
At first it was a bit, should we? But then he said, well, we'll make up the numbers, we're joining in. So okay, if you're all joining in, then
The laid back atmosphere.
yeah.
I just think is really conducive to.
And they I think, and then the week after that, the kids were against all the coaches sort of thing, and they enjoyed that because they wanted to get one over on us, and they ended up beating us.
Sure.
And so like they were well happy with that.
Yeah, it's the same sort of thing as like on like a school sports day, for example, when the teachers join in, you want to beat them,
Yeah.
and it's that same sort of like
There's
Desire to win.
there's protection, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't join in because you could injure them. But
exactly.
if you're sensible, we did go in.
No,
for
we had to play it like us.
Yeah.
No, I mean, to wrap it up, guys, I think, we all kind of enjoyed our placement. It was a great experience. I'd love to do it again. Maybe I'd like to do a team older, maybe a team young, and kind of see the age ranges. But I mean, all in all, it was fantastic. It was a great experience.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
next
giving us the voluntary.
Well, thank you for watching our video.
Yeah.